If you keep forgetting how to multiply and divide fractions and get confused when it comes to mixed numbers, then you're in the right place. I'm going to go over in a clear way to make sure that you understand the processes behind these. A key thing that you need for your maths and GCSE to quickly multiply fractions is just a case of multiplying the top numbers together, the numerators, and the bottom numbers together, the denominators. So 3/5 times 7 over 2, we're just doing 3 times 7, which is equal to 21, and then we're doing 5 times 2, which is equal to 10. So your final answer would be 21 over 10. Now, that is the final answer to the multiplication, but it's not the final answer to the whole question. And we need to be careful about the format that they ask for this to be in. So how many 10s go into 21? That's what we're asking, is 2 with 1/10 left over. So this becomes a mixed number because it's a mix of an integer with a fraction. It's mixed. Okay, when it comes to multiplying a fraction by an integer, now we can just view that integer as 11 over 1. That is the same as 11. So that shows you clearly now that we're just doing 3 multiplied by 11 on the numerator and 8 multiplied by 1, or it just remains 8 on the denominator. So 33 over 8. Once again, it wants a mixed number. So how many 8s go into 33? 8 times table, 8, 16, 24, 32. So there's 4 8s go into 33, and there is 1/8 left over. So 4 and 1/8. It's just the numerator that ends up getting multiplied by the integer, and the denominator is remaining the same. So on to dividing. When we're dividing, we're actually just multiplying by the reciprocal. Now, what does that mean? The reciprocal is if you flip the fraction over. So if we had 2/3 as a fraction, the reciprocal would be 3 over 2. If we had 1/5 as a fraction, the reciprocal would be 5 over 1, okay? Now, if you have just an integer on its own, so say you've got the number 3, right? The reciprocal of 3, well, 3 is actually 3 over 1 if we write it as a fraction, so the reciprocal of that 3 would be 1/3. So that's what a reciprocal is, and you'll see how that fits in really shortly. So if we're doing 2/5 divided by 1/4, what we actually end up doing is we keep the 2/5, we change the divide to a multiply, and we find the reciprocal of 1/4. And to find the reciprocal, it's effectively flipping that fraction where the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. They're switching over. So we're keeping 2/5, that remains the same. We're now multiplying and we're flipping 1/4 to 4 over 1. So it's the same as multiplying because we are now multiplying. We are multiplying by the reciprocal, and that is the reciprocal. Okay, and we can just answer it as a multiplication question. 2 times by 4 is the numerator, and the denominator is 5 multiplied by 1. 2 times 4 is 8, 5 times 1 is 5. Giving that as a mixed number again, how many 5s go into 8? It's 1, with 3/5 left over. Right, on to another question then. So to quickly divide, we keep the first fraction, change the operation, flip the second fraction. Keep, change, flip. So work out 3/7 divided by 2/3, write out keep, change, flip to remind yourselves. And yes, it has to be the second fraction that you'll find in the reciprocal of. It would not work the other way. 3/7, and we're timesing it by 3 over 2. 3 times 3 is 9, and 7 times 2 is 14. That answer is in its simplest form for your 1 mark. When you're dealing with mixed numbers, you have to convert it into an improper fraction first. Okay, so we have 2 3/4 and we're multiplying by 1 5/7. They must be converted to improper fractions before multiplying or dividing. Right, let's look how we're going to do 2 3/4. To start with, we need to realise that our final fraction is going to be in quarters. The denominator stays the same. Now, 2 is 4 over 4, which is 1, with another 4 over 4. So in total, it would be 8 over 4. Plus your 3/4 makes 11/4 in total. So 2 3/4 is 11/4. The quick hack for that is you keep the denominator the same. We do 2 times 4 is 8. Add the 3 on the top. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 add 3 is 11. So 11/4. Right, next 1 5/7. Keep the denominator the same. 1 lot of 7 is 7. Add your 5 on the top, makes 12. 12/7 is 1 and 5/7. So now we've got our two new fractions. We're doing 11 quarters and we're multiplying it by 12/7. 11 times 12 is 132 and 4/7 are 28. Okay, now we can put it in its simplest form and a mixed number. I'm going to start with the simplest form aspect first because then I find it easier to convert. When I have two even numbers, I just automatically divide them by 2. Okay, so 132 divided by 2 is going to be 66, and 28 divided by 2 is going to be 14. Even again, let's halve them. 66 becomes 33. 14 becomes 7. Okay, now we can start to think how many 7s go into 33 and how many are left over for our mixed number. Say 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. So it goes up to 4 7s are 28 with 5 7s left over. 4 and 5/7 would be your final answer. Right, now that's a 3-mark question. The reason it's a 3-mark question is you have to do the conversion first, do your calculation, and then the conversion back again after. And a division one then now with mixed numbers, working out 2 1/4 divided by 5/7. Once again, it has to be converted into an improper fraction first. So 2 1/4, keep the denominator the same. And we're doing 2 multiplied by 4, which is 8. That gives us our 2, 8/4. And then adding on that one at the end makes 9. So 9 quarters divided by 5/7. First mark done. Keep, change, flip. 9 quarters, keep, divide, change, 5/7, flip. 9 quarters multiplied by 7/5. Well, 9 7s are 63 and 4 5s are 20. Converting that into a mixed number first we could do is going to be how many 20s go into 63? It's 3 with 3 20ths over. And you can't simplify that any further. So it's 3 and 3 20ths to get your 3 marks. Okay, hopefully that's helped. So the key take-home messages are the fact that when you're multiplying the numerators and the denominators together. When you're dividing, we keep, change, flip, and you must convert mixed numbers prior to doing any multiplication or division with them into improper fractions. Give this video a like, subscribe if it's been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.